Hello, this is Charlie, and this is my game project. It doesn't have a title, so I'm just calling it Ant Game right now. So, one of the first things to notice is that at the top of the screen, there are instructions saying left click to toss ant. So when you left click, you toss an ant. Now there are new instructions saying conquer all enemy anthills. So another thing that pops up is this. Press E to access anthill menu. Now this only appears when you get close to this object. So we can now learn that this pile of shapes is an anthill. So we'll go over this later. So what we're going to go over now is this pink orb. So when you shoot ants at the orb, first off they'll point their heads towards it and they'll animate, seemingly collecting it on their backs. So what this is it's food. And one can also notice that the left side of the screen is an icon for both the food and the ants. So the ants, when you shoot them, you lose them from your inventory. We can collect them by walking over to them and you get them back. And when you collect an ant that has been gathering food, collect both it and the food it was gathering. So now let's just show what you can do with this. So now let's go over here. Press E to access anthill menu. When you click on E, you get access to the menu. And there's a button saying make 1 ant by using 10 food. So that means exactly what it sounds like. You click to confirm the transaction. You see it's now faded out when we have less than 10 food. So I can press E to exit. Now we have 5 ants with us. So we can just do even more tasks with this. So we can just launch ants to just take over different food sources. Something else is that we'll notice that there's more food sources through these barriers. And there's 3 of them over here. So what you can do is you can just see what happens when you shoot an ant at the barrier, and there you go, it animates by headbutting it. So these guys have finished collecting that food source. So yeah, you can just make more ants and just collect more food. So these barriers, what you do is that you shoot ants at it and they'll damage it. And you probably have you'll notice now that the less health that it has, the barrier actually descends into the ground. And soon enough, we'll see that once it has no health, it just gets destroyed. So yeah, this is actually an RTS game, or at least it's trying to be. So what's important is just managing your army well and just using time efficiently. So what we'll want to do is that we'll have like a few ants at this barrier, just use the rest to collect food. So we can just make more ants, that way we can do all this even more efficiently. Let's just space them out a bit. Alright, so there's these 2 barriers, well at least the one that was over there, they actually have like very little health, and 2 ants can actually take it down in a short amount of time. This one actually has a lot, so it will take a while for this to be taken down, so we can just leave this ant here to work at it to save us a bit of time. So now this section is open, and we'll notice what seems to be another anthill over here. And we all know the goal of the game, it's to conquer all anthills. So I'll just try and get as many ants as I can with me, just to be prepared. Alright, well, I've got 11 with me. So I'll just go over what this enemy anthill does. So if you walk close to it, it'll actually notice you and just, well, it does this. It fires at you. Now there's another icon at the top left of the screen which shows your health, and it's currently 14. So anthills will damage you over time, and if your health reaches 0, then it's just game over, and the game just quits automatically. Around the anthill are cockroaches, and they're just decoration, they don't do anything. But the anthill is the real danger. Not only does it attack you, but it will also try attacking your ants. So you have to be careful when attacking it. So just try and take it down. It actually just completely destroys any ants it shoots at. But if you're quick enough, you can take it down without suffering too many losses. I seem to have lost 2 ants. Oh well. Now we've noticed that once we've destroyed the enemy anthill, we've taken it over. We can now access its anthill menu from here. So now we can just safely collect this food. We can just toss a lot of ants into it quickly. And yeah, it's all safe now, and we can just grab the food that they collected, and make ourselves new ants. So yeah, there's no need to just walk all the way to that anthill in the distance. Oh wait, speaking of, I'll just make some ants. Let's see. Ah yes, this ant is nearly finished with his work. I'll just throw in a few more ants to just immediately finish the job. More the merrier. Alright, there we go. So now that anthill has started noticing us. So if we want to collect that food, we'll have to take it down. I think it actually has more health than the previous one, so just have to throw in a lot. So that way it doesn't kill too many of our ants while we try to take it over. Alright, there we go. Now. Yeah, I think we just lost a couple there. Oh well. Oh, we can now safely collect this food over here. And hopefully make up for our losses. Just get that done with. Actually, yeah, I'll just throw in all the ants we have, so that way we just get all the food from this source in a short amount of time. Alright, and we're back. So, we can just collect all the food that we got from that, and make more ants. So another thing that I didn't point out yet is that another one of the icons in the top left is for your ant hills. And currently I've got 3 out of 7. So now we know that there are 4 more ant hills we need to take over. So that's our main goal. But a secondary main goal is, of course, to grow your ant army to make it easier to take over enemy ant hills. And if we look over here, there seems to be a lot more food up there, but we don't have any means to get them. We also don't know what this thing does. So let's just explore a bit more. And we'll notice over here a weird mound of pieces. So naturally the first instinct we should have is just to throw an ant at it. And, well, look, there you go. It seems to have done something. It's got a little construction hat. Also, I'll take this moment to say that I'm actually kind of proud of the construction hat. Okay, let me collect it. Oh, now there's a new instruction saying scroll mouse wheel to select ant type. So we now notice that in the inventory, there seems to be a new selection of ant that's faded out. So if we scroll mouse, there you go, the instructions disappear. We've selected the builder ant. So there are 2 types of ants. There's the worker and the builder. Now, we don't immediately know what to do with the builder, but we'll notice the same strange object that was over there. So possibly people might just throw a builder ant and see if it works. And it does. He's pointing his head at it, and he's bobbing. Worker ants have no reaction to this. Let's just observe this guy for a little while. Okay, after he's completed his work, he just turned back to regular worker ant. So obviously the solution here is to just get more builder ants and just make them all work on this. But some people might not realize that immediately, and maybe might even just try and make the jump. Of course it's impossible, but now you're stuck here if you try. So one thing that you can do is that, well, there are the same pieces over here as there were at the top. So now you're forced to just learn how to use these things. So you can get 2 builder ants, just toss them over here. So now, if we just give them enough time, right, we've built a bridge and they've returned back to worker ant form. So yes, using builder ants on those objects turns them into bridges. So I believe that requires 3 more pieces left. Alright, also we'll notice that this thing is still here, but it is a finite resource. So if you throw enough ants, eventually they'll just turn back into worker ant. It will all be gone. So what we can do is just throw these guys over here to work on this while we're waiting on the other piece of the bridge to be complete. Okay, so it's finished and we now have access to that anthill over here. And since anthills can take out our armies, we should probably just collect those guys back. So much for multitasking. But yeah, we'll want to have as many ants as we can while taking out anthills, because we don't want to lose too many. So here goes. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Alright, we lost 2 ants from that. Oh, not the worst thing that can happen. Okay, so now we can just toss in a few builder ants over here. Collect them all. Alright, so now we can just wait for the bridge to be complete. We don't have any food, so we can't use this anthill. But you'll notice that this seems to be our way to get up over there. So with bigger bridges, like over time as the ants work on it, you'll actually see the bridge get completed over time. So now we can make it over here. Now we have access to both more building materials and food. So I'll collect that. Over here there's another barrier. And one thing to note is this barrier actually has the most health out of any in the game. So it's just a good idea to just keep an ant there, to just keep chipping away at it while you're working on other stuff. There seem to be 2 anthills over there, so you'll need to be very prepared before just attacking it. So, yeah, we're collecting food over here, but we have a few options. You can choose to collect the food and use the anthill over there to create more ants, or we can just jump down here and use that one. But then we wouldn't be able to go back up here immediately, but so far that's not a problem because we collected all the food. That's 45. Alright, not too bad. Oop. Alright, we have 13 worker ants and 1 builder ant, which I'll use to get over here. Alright, so that builder finished making the bridge, and so we can now reach this area, which is actually the most dangerous anthill because it has the most health. But there's a gigantic food source over there, so it's worth it. Let's just see if we can take it out without losing too many ants. Alright, here goes. Okay, nice. Let's see how many we lost. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright. Now we can just get to collecting these, and let's just see what this ant is doing. It's actually taken out quite a bit of health from the barrier. It seems to be 1/4 of the way through. Well, in the meantime, we'll just collect as much food as we can from this massive source. Let's just collect all the other food. Done. Make 3 more ants. Now we can just collect just a lot of food from this one by throwing all of our ants here. Actually, it might take a while, so I'll just launch some ants to work on the barrier while those guys are busy working on that. Okay, it should be done by now. I believe that should have given us 100 food, so that's quite a lot of ants. Alright. 21 in my inventory. Should be able to take those 2 anthills, no problem. Okay. Seems as though they're almost done taking that bridge out, that barrier. You can just pile in a few more just to get it done with quickly. Okay. seems to be our final stretch. Oh, this is actually kind of imposing. But you'll see that we have 5 anthills, and out of the remaining 7, so these have to be the last ones. So let's just charge in and just take them all out. Okay. Hup. Just attack these guys. Try and just send out a few ants to attack both hills, just to multi-manage. Okay, so if we take one of them out, it should be a lot easier to take the other one down. Oh boy. Let's just keep that one distracted. Okay, this one's down. Alright, there you go. We won. And that's that's the ending. Oh, one thing of note is that it just gives you a few seconds to realize that you collected all the anthills before transitioning to this screen, which I'll just say it right here. It's probably the best thing I've ever made. But yeah, that's the Antz game, and thanks for watching.